heal one target to full while they have a dot. And their healers are a lot better at that than them. I'm gonna line of sight these guys.
Okay.
This is where you might want to cloak even if you get a lot on you, but you're good.
Okay. Yeah, I still have
Casters are done.
just got the blind there. Nice. Okay, yeah, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, we have a lot of AoE CC in this group. Oh.
Gosh, freaking sanguine.
I'm hoping to get the legendary next week, but I've also been like genuinely considering just hard swapping to a different character
Oh, really?
in Blood DK. Yeah, it's just in 26s, like at least plugging, it's been very difficult because you just have a lot more things that will basically kill you if there's not enough stops used for them, just by virtue of how Blood DK works.
I see. Yeah, it definitely would make sense, like, once you get, like, feel like past a 25, it's reasonable to start considering, like, a meta reroll for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there are people that play Blood DK all the way up to like 28s or something right now, but other tanks are doing 31s, so
Right.
it seems like it's kind of gimped. In the same way that current Resto Shaman is like a bit more of a struggle. They just have a worse kit for some of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I think that if I had a consistent like 5 stack group that wanted to do keys, then I would probably stick with DK because then you can coordinate to shore up some of those weaknesses. Basically, like you're fine until you run out of cooldowns, and you
Yeah.
have a lot of cooldowns.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because, like, if you can coordinate, right, like, there are ways to sort of, like, get creative and figure out a solution, but you kind of, it's just like those meta tanks are a lot more forgiving with pugs, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Because it's like when you have cooldowns up, you can survive like a lot of casts that don't get kicked, for example. That might be focusing the tank. But and then when you're out of cooldowns, if you have a coordinated group, in theory, you could just tell them to use their AoE stops at that point instead of while you have defensives going, and just overlapping that stuff makes so you end up dying later. Or at least I die later. I don't think I'm like the world's best Blood DK by any means, so I could just be playing it wrong too.
No, I mean, I think it's a reasonable concern given that level of key. What the fuck? This guy's evading? Oh, that's great.
That's okay, all this darkness.
Alright, I trust.
Only the healer takes damage.
That's pretty typical. That's really weird. I wonder why they evaded. I mean, I did, like, kidney shot that one. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
I don't know. I've honestly never seen that before.
We were doing a key earlier. We did a fall, and like the second boss, I don't know, we had a bunch of people die. It was me and the tank left, and I used Vanish as part of my rotation, and it reset the boss while the tank was still like very much alive and doing the boss fight.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was very odd.
What boss was that?
The like the light dark pie slice boss in fall.
Oh, yeah, I think that. Um, Actually, no, I know that you can definitely have one person do it because I've finished that boss as just the tank
Hmm.
multiple times. But I was thinking there's like the third, or sorry, final boss of Throne of the Tides will reset if you don't have three people for when it does the like little circle that you're supposed to drop.
Oh, that's weird.
So I'm curious if it reset. Um, like, did you finish the bomb?
So it might have been when like some kind of a mechanic came out. I didn't remember exactly. I could look back at I have it recorded, but I assume it was
Yeah,
like, yeah, I had something on me, or like the boss was targeting me or something. I just like happened to vanish when that happened.
yeah, I feel like it must have been like during a mechanic, and I think that's still a bug, to
Oh
be
yeah,
fair.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
um,
It's that,
I
or just like
probably,
the fact that only two people in the fight was enough to be like, yeah, it's just gonna reset, which is also very strange.
yeah. If that's the case, then it shouldn't be the case,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because that makes things substantially harder.
Where's it going?
You can ignore the being in the back of Corporal.
Oh yeah,
Um,
just LS. Okay. I'll plan to stun if we get another knife dance.
okay. Yeah, I think that's where Rogue is really nice. Just the number of stops that you can just get throughout a fight.
Yeah, it's uh, it's so interesting because like I feel like the higher the key level, the easier that gets. In some cases, I don't know. It's definitely interesting because I definitely remember doing some like what was it? What was the second part of the mega dungeon last expansion? Where you're in like the Murloc area, just like learning
Oh
about
yeah,
all these
yeah.
different things you can stop as a rogue in the Murloc area, and I was like, okay, this is like very overwhelming, but also very cool.
I think that's the thing that really separates like a good rogue player from your average rogue player.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like how much of their other utility do they use? It's like, yeah, rogues have really good damage right now.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm starting to get to a point where I've like played Outlaw enough that I feel comfortable doing other things besides just focusing on my rotation. In some
Yeah,
cases, I'm still like just hyper focused on like doing mechanics on like the council boss in Everbloom, for example.
sure.
Just 'cause that thing is just something else.
What's your historically go-to spec for rogue?
It's interesting, right? So like, um, I started playing Rogue, I guess if you want to call it seriously, at the beginning of Shadowlands, and that's when at the beginning of Shadowlands, Outlaw was good, but I like leveled as and then played Subtlety, which I
Okay.
felt fairly comfortable with at the time. But then, like, I would say that by the end of the expansion, I was definitely more comfortable in Outlaw. I don't know, I guess it just kind of varies. I've never, like, stuck with the spec long enough to really have, like, you know, like a go-to. It's just
Sure.
kind of like whatever's meta and then whatever I wind up playing the most,
And that's one of the nice things about classes with three DPS specs.
for sure. Well, the other thing, too, like, this iteration of Outlaw is so much different than what it was like in Shadowlands. Um,
Yeah,
they put like
definitely.
such a heavy emphasis on there's a mechanic that resets between the eyes, and like that's like your whole thing. Like if you don't play around that, what are you even doing?
Right. I think before it was more of an emphasis on like making sure you have good rolls for roll the bones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, now it's very much like you just want raw numbers of roll the bones, at least at the level that I'm playing at. I'm sure there's some nuance to it, but
yeah, I know that there's like definitely some times where you want to re-roll even if you have 3 buffs probably, but I think that the general consensus right now is that 3 buffs is probably good.
yeah,
So, and it's like very easy to achieve that too right now.
it is, yeah. That's definitely the logic that I'm using. It's like if I'm at 3, we're good, but anything under 3, just re-roll basically on cooldown. For the most part. There's still some cases where you don't, like if you're in the middle of like you're spamming between the eyes, you don't want to re-roll in the middle of that if you have 2 buffs.
Yeah.
But also, if you get to that situation and you're not in the right buff situation, you probably did something wrong, so. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Yeah, we are currently in a 23 Blackrook hold.
Okay.
But we are probably about a third of the way through. If that,
Oh, I can't get that.
if you're interested in the key afterwards, I know that Andrew can't do another, but
Yeah, I'll probably have to be done after this one. Unfortunately, I gotta go. I'm going down to Denver. I'm going to meet Grant's parents, actually.
nice.
Funny enough. Yeah.
You can really see. I've seen some photos of like family stuff that he's done. You can really see Grant's parents in him.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's some people where he really like it's not that apparent. But with Grant, like he looks so much like his dad.
Yeah, it is very true.
Honestly, the whole family, like his brother, looks very.
Yeah, he and his brother are
much like him too.
very much look alike. There's definitely a distinct difference, but also like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
are definitely brothers.
Where's this other one? It's not that. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh. Huh.
It's killed 9 million.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do another one after this though, Drew, if you're
Okay.
looking to do one.
Yeah, I'd love to.
If you wanna. It's been actually a pretty smooth run so far, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. We have a handful of individual deaths, I would say, from which is kind of standard, even for that area. At least I find it.
Oh yeah,
Common.
that in my experience is the hardest part of the dungeon for sure.
Yeah.
Look at this first kick. Oh, it's never mind. You just silence the shit out of it. That's excellent.
Yeah. It's a spot in the boss fight where I get to use other sigils,
Nice.
which is pretty nice for how vengeance works actually. Because you like generate, or you get cooldown reduction on your other sigils, which are more important for damage and stuff.
Gotcha.
don't know if you've been dabbling and thinking with it, so maybe you could, but if not, I can stop talking about it. But
Yeah, absolutely.
there's actually this kind of weird thing where in High Keys Vengeance on the third boss of Darkheart Thicket
Okay.
will intentionally pull Whelplings
Oh, sure, yeah.
to generate like extra soul shard fragments, which is what they use to heal. It's kind of like how Vengeance gets to do like Death Strike.
Gotcha. Right, because when you get those fragments, it like just straight up heals you, right?
Yeah, your other abilities will consume them, or you can step on them,
Gotcha.
and then it heals you for like percentage of damage you took over the last next seconds. I guess I should have moved.
That's fine. Yeah, the boss room's a little sloppy, but you know, it's a
The
fortified.
boss room is somewhat difficult to overcrowd anyway,
Yeah.
unless you have like cross room dashes. Or like the ranged person's just dragging it around and the entire room in melee. This has been a place of a few deaths too
Oh
this
yeah.
week, because Sanguine kind of sucks in this hallway.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to take the poll a little bit smaller than I normally would on other weeks.
I think that's a smart idea.
Let the drinks go off, unfortunately.
Yeah, shoot, I wasn't even paying attention to him.
Maybe not. They're not spinning yet. It's the spinning that's the where they get scary.
Yeah, one of the weak ores I got from, I don't remember where I got it, but has a nice like, it's basically just like a list of cast bars of like really important casts that you really should be interrupting for like AoE stops specifically.
Yeah.
Just need to get that like in a slightly better location. I think it's easy for me to ignore right now.
I have a plater profile that shows different colors on nameplates and cast bars based on the priority.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've definitely messed around with stuff like that in the past, but haven't this season at all. Maybe if we start doing some of these higher keys, we'll be a little more clear what I need to do with them.
I think the group is definitely more ready for these keys now.
Ah, shit. Alright, I got next mass interrupt if it even is relevant anymore.
There's not too many of the scavengers that drink potions or whatever left. This always sucks.
Yes, it does.
Also, the hunter has its pet, like, taunting something in the back.
Oh, that's
So
fun.
it's just from standing in Sanguine. I'm dead, yeah. These guys
Oh,
hurt.
that's
Well, there's an Earthly, so I'm on my
yeah.
way.
At least try to get. I mean, maybe the play was actually not to try to kill that. Eh.
If people can kite back and save the pole, it's not that much of a loss.
Yeah.
I probably could have not died. I just mismanaged my cooldowns.
That's right. I mean, we also had that extra shit for, which was not ideal. Alright. Time to play Indiana Jones.
True. One of the things that people do in hierarchies sometimes is have one person run up, like the healer, towards the end of the pole.
Mm-hmm. I like that. How many Dominators are you wanting to do?
I do 2, typically.
Okay.
Oh, we have a guy that died. Oh. Maybe the shaman can res. They are actively resing. Okay, that's first.
Okay.
They have res.
Alright, I get this one.
I'm getting the other one. I got that one. You can get the other Dominator.
Okay, yep, got this.
And then I'll get the first one. And once this guy dies, I'll probably just hang out actually until the other one is dead too. If I can move him out of syncing. Okay, well I pulled the other one.
Okay, I'm still focused on the first one.
Okay.
Guess I can use the second one.
Last one off, but that's okay.
Not for that guy. Ooh. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Fuck that one up.
That's okay. Healer can get next in theory. But he's small again, so once the hunter's here, I'll pull into the next guy.
I mean, just sitting here doing this stuff is great for my overall damage, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, fair.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
What are you guys up to?
Doing
Some
some
keys.
keys.
Sounds exciting.
It is. You want to get this first one, or I'll get your chitin.
The monk got it. I'll get the next one though.
Okay.
Did you guys just start?
We're
about to kill
pretty
the
close.
third boss in Blackrook.
We've got maybe 7 minutes left in the key. Pretty close to done. I got next.
Great.
Alright, just gotta kill some of these that are for some reason still spawning.
Bats, bat, and
Sometimes you run
guppies.
through and they stop spawning, and then other times they just keep coming. I don't know why.
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Got this first one. Did so much damage to me. Same attack.
I'll get this one.
Okay. I'm sure you're aware that evasion completely avoids that damage.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Because like if I take one and then evasion another, in
Yeah, you
theory,
can
like I can
just,
be ready to evasion another if I need to.
yep, definitely.
Alright, fuck it. It's nice it doesn't do a knockback either.
Yeah.
Super handy.
Blessing of Protection prevents the knockback on the stomp too. I think that we discovered that.
Yeah, nice.
Through
Yeah.
my... Want to just move a little. I'll take this one.
Don't have Shadow Step. Yeah, this guy's got a lot of health.
Yep. These boss fights take a little bit of time.
I imagine it's on a Tyrant week. Oh, whoops.
Depending on how much DH believes in RNG and DKs to an extent also. You can just pray that you dodge or parry every single one and take all of them.
I like that. Just pray to RNG Jesus. Oh my god, can you not do that, please? Oh, nice. Do you ever do this whole hallway together?
Yeah, I really like to do that. I
That's
just
fucking
haven't been
nuts.
doing it recently.
Gotcha.
Sanguine's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
But it's a very fun pull and it's a good tactic for the DPS, I guess. But I think it's a huge time saver.
Yeah. Well, it'd be cool, or it's cool if you can like on a DK or a DH, right? Like you're signaling of changing some of the casts and shit. Like that's pretty neat way to handle it.
What's the knockback?
Ooh, and that Rob is sick. Holy shit.
Yeah, this last section takes like 3 minutes if you do the full pull at once, if that.
Wow.
So. Here, the only dangerous thing about this fight is the first volley and these bouncing blades. People don't notice them.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Ooh, do we? Okay. Did you just have Onk again? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's like a talent nowadays
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that makes it cool down faster if you're like full health or something.
Reduces it by 75%. Right.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Ah, Cleve.
I'll dark the first volley.
Yeah.
Apparently there's some wacky double shadow meld tech that you can do.
Yeah, if you have
on this boss.
2 Shadow Meld Taunt classes, you can
Oh.
delay the cast long enough to get the buff.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's kind of sick actually. Because it doesn't cancel cast, it just like resets it or whatever.
Link in Darkness is like the biggest raid cooldown combo you can possibly do, so that's kind of sick.
Yeah. Oh man, that volley does nothing when we're all empowered. It's great.
Yeah.
Alright, Dreadlord's Guile.
And then in theory you lust after that. If you're ever playing a lust class on this boss.
Gotcha.
But we don't have it right now. I don't know. I think we used it on the last boss for some reason.
I don't hate that. I mean, like, it's kind kind of awkward, but
Doesn't really matter. Both bosses are relatively simple, but the last boss is much more of a punching bag than this one.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like that last one probably get better uptime.
Well, if you wait until after the guile on this boss, you get full lust value here, and it's during like the while you're empowered also, which in theory is more valuable. I guess I don't really know which is a better time saver. I don't think it matters that much. Our hunter might die. Okay, they did not. Yes. We have 10 seconds to kill the boss. I think we can do it. Well, before the next this phase, which isn't a big deal.
Nice.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, top damage. Look at you.
Yeah, I was
Huge
like,
bump.
I was looking at that over there. I was like, oh man, if I do play this last one well, yeah, almost 300k. Well, not almost, but 270 overall. Yeah,
Pretty good.
not upset with that. Ooh.
Do you want this ring? Oh, you got a nice trinket.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take the ring if you don't want it. It's not really good for me though.
It's terrible for, well, I shouldn't say terrible. It's very meh.
There's, yeah, I mean, there's like almost no way I'd ever use that actually. I'm gonna reroll my key actually, since we just did the Blackrook.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a dark card ticket. Nice.
Not a bad one.
I think this trinket's decent for, like, if I didn't have this trinkets already. You don't want this, do you? The Emperor of Nullification?
I'm using it.
Oh, nice.
I think it's actually a
Oh,
higher
wait a
value
minute.
than you might expect for dungeons because the silence effect can be quite good.
Yeah, I did not realize what it actually did.
And flat verse is good for both survivability and I think verse is one of your best stats. So I would
Outlaw.
consider replacing the Midas Talisman, but I would sim it also and see if it's like
I
a
know.
huge DPS loss.
Yeah, the Talisman typically does. Ooh, it did a lot less this dungeon. Interesting. It's usually
Or,
pretty darn high for me.
I mean, just having double on use is not really a big deal for Outlaw, I guess, because you don't really have cooldowns that you're trying to line it up with, but
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I would consider it. Well, okay, so also one thing that's worth noting is your trinket damage will probably appear lower because your overall damage is higher from the damage amp period on the last boss here.
Oh, good
So
point.
if you didn't get a cast on it, or if you use it in like the first phase but not the second, that percentage will be lower than normal.
Gotcha. Let's see if I use it here.
But less than instant poison damage on the other trinket seems kind of low to me.
I wonder what's up with that is. I mean, maybe it's possible. So right now I just have it macroed into something because, well, actually the reason I did it was because I wanted to save space on my like weak aura for abilities. Though I do have a
Yeah.
solution for that now, so maybe it is actually okay to put it back on there. There's one more button to have to think about pressing though. I don't know, maybe I'll play around with it a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that the Ember is necessarily better. I just think it's maybe a consideration.
Well, I like it as a little utility thing, especially like, I mean, 2 second silence is kind of sick.
It's also a more defensive option, right? Like, I know it's not that much of a difference, I guess, but right now, for me, it's worth 4% verse, which is only 2% damage reduction, but that's relevant when you get into higher keys where it could make the difference between something one-shotting you and not one-shotting you.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, my plan is to get the roll across neck eventually as sort of a defensive angle. And that almost seems, I don't, does that synergize with this thing at all? I guess it doesn't really.
you do fire damage?
Well, when I do that, I'm going to swap my embellishments to Shadow Flame. Right now, I don't think I do any fire damage, but
Is it Shadow Flame Helm? Or
well, I guess technically the yeah, the Helm enchant does Shadow Flame damage.
because I don't think that there's any real defensive value for Fire Absorb Shield. But I think the stats are still really good for you from that necklace anyway.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, crit verse is perfect. It's a heavy verse, so yeah. Yeah. And like I don't know, I really hate this toxic thorn foot wrap thing. Like I'm sure it's good and all, but like, well, A of all, this thing has crit rate. It has haste on it, which I don't want. And yeah, if I swapped from the toxic angle to the Shadow Flame angle, it might sim lower for damage wise, but I think that combined with being able to get my stats better and just getting the incidental value from the full across neck is worth it.
Yeah,
I'm certainly not
I
gonna rely
agree.
on it, but it just seems
I mean, the Nature Shield is pretty relevant for some dungeons. There's a lot of like nature damage with poisons right now.
dealing fire damage grants you. Oh, and I definitely deal nature damage, so that's good. Just period.
Yeah.
So.
So, yeah, I
Sweet.
think that's. I mean, honestly, all the embellishments are like within like 0.1% of each other because they only 2% DPS increase
Right.
as the best ones. So,
Right.
I don't think you need to worry about that much unless you're worried about losing a couple hundred DPS
No, not at this point. It's probably less of a
for
concern.
something you like more.
I did go through and like change a bunch of my stats a couple weeks ago, and I think that made a big difference. Going pretty heavy on verse for Outlaw. I didn't
Just
like
going full sending into the like Outlaw as your primary spec.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially.
Yeah, because I don't like for raid. I mean, we're not progressing mythic or anything. And
Yeah, you don't need to have perfectly statted assassination talents or whatever, or you don't even have to play assassination if you don't want to.
that's true. I definitely much prefer it in raid just because it's, I think,
Yeah.
a lot more relaxing.
I think I prefer damage cooldown window type of specs also that are like the pacing is a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
just me though.
and funny enough, like playing assassination this tier is like the first time in like modern, like really ever that I've played a damage window cooldown spec in raid since like Shadow Priest is what I played for DPS in raid before that, and I mean you didn't really have anything to line up with Shadow. It was literally just like, well, in Legion it was you go into void form when you go into void form, like you don't really have much control over it, and then yeah, so I don't know, it's just that's been fun to actually get to experience that part of the game, which I know is
Yeah.
like a big part of the game, but I just never really interacted with before.
Well, there's a lot of specs where that doesn't really matter that much. And there's like some slight min-maxing you can do based on boss timings, I guess, but a lot of specs are just like send everything all the time, like Fury is
Yeah.
like that right now. But Arms is a spec that, like, that was the first time I've really done raid DPS was when I got C playing Arms.
Gotcha.
And that was just all about Colossal Smash windows.
Okay.
So every 45 seconds you just had like a nice damage period. And that was pretty fun. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to keep you if you've got stuff you gotta do, but
That's all good.
Drew, did you have a
Got like 30
Sorry, go
minutes
ahead.
till I need to go, so I'll hang
Oh,
out for a
okay.
minute before I gotta figure out what I'm doing still. But
Yeah, fair. I think that is Nick still in here too? Oh no, it's Doug.
Veto.
Are you all interested in doing key?
I want to do keys, but I may have to go soon.
Oh, okay.
I just have to. My dad is. I don't want to say disabled, like elderly disabled is the best way to put it. He needs
Sure.
someone to go with him when he goes shopping and stuff. He wants to go pick up bread, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys will
Understandable.
still be here in like half an hour. Definitely down.
I might have time for one more in half an hour. I've got things going on in a couple hours that I have to get ready for. But I probably can do at least one more key after this one with Drew in that case.
No, I better get going then.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can run one when you're back. Drew, what kind
Yeah.
of keys do you have, and what kind of key are you trying to do? I guess.
Whatever if we can time it. I've got a 21 Throne of Tides on this character and a 22 Way Crest on my Paladin.
Okay.
I have an 18 Throne of Tides.
You.
Nice. We could definitely run that also when you're back. It's pretty easy. Are you tanking nowadays, Doug, or are you red?
I would prefer to tank because I don't know any of the fights as Rhett, but I feel I'm probably on the high side of competency for
Okay.
Rhett now. I don't mean that
Yeah.
as like a bragging thing. Like I mean, like I think I can do it. I haven't
Yeah.
tried yet though, so I don't know.
Well, if you want to tank, you can definitely tank. I'm not a tank only kind of player, so I'll accommodate whatever the group wants to do.
So I got my gear to 469, and I have my best trinkets, but my weapon is Garbo. It's got the wrong stats.
Yeah, that's
My
okay.
tank set's
You'll be able
amazing.
to place that.
Well, I shouldn't say amazing.
You'll just get a legendary on your red, and then you don't have to care about your weapon being garbage.
So apparently there's a way to like fees that, and I need to figure out how that works before
Oh.
Tuesday.
Yeah, were you in the call with Rob when he was talking about that too? I think it
Yeah,
was during Raid, actually, so you would
something
have been
about
there.
abusing Pandaria challenge modes
Proving
resets.
Grounds. Yeah.
He didn't explain it properly because what he said, unless it's a like a value rollover or something where it's like it resets it to 0 and then you collect the item and it pushes it into negative to 99%, then you automatically get it. That's the only way it makes sense, but I can't imagine Blizzard be that
So
stupid.
I think what he was saying is that by going into the Proving Grounds, it resets the chance for you to get a bad luck protection item. I'm also just completely making shit up. So I guess the idea there would be like, you do a fire act, you do the Proving Grounds, you do a fire act, you do the Proving Grounds, and every time you do it, you get another item.
So you just keep going into
I
trial
guess I would be concerned that it's considered
Raid Finder.
exploitation.
The way
Well, yeah,
he
that's
said it,
definitely
it was definitely like, oh, this sounds like an exploit. I'm just not gonna do this.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But I've also probably gotten enough bad luck protection that I'm bound to get it in a week or two on my DK at least. But for people that are like Doug that are joining
I'm
late,
not
it kind of sucks.
getting banned over that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it's not worth it.
Something that, like, what, in a month is going to be irrelevant.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Well, you never know. It might be relevant for Faded raids still. Who knows?
well, with Faded, you probably can just like get it as a token item or whatever they did in Shadowlands.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that it's like they'll let you upgrade your existing one or something. I don't know.
I mean, if the legendary just immediately becomes irrelevant by the time that like half or more of the player base actually gets it, that'd feel bad because I have no idea how many months are left in the patch right now.
It's true. They haven't given us any
Probably
indication.
like 2 would be my guess if they're planning on doing a fall release. That way, the next season maybe a little bit longer because Faded seasons are usually shorter. Well, I shouldn't say.
I guess
usually,
understanding
last
how
time.
it works, because if it was like a rollover thing, then you can't be faulted for playing the game. But if you're constantly abusing something to get more items that you're only allowed to have one of a week, it's like you should know you can't do that.
Yeah, like, that's an apparent misuse of the system, I would say, and like just a gap in their spaghetti code. Um, so I have a 24 rise on my DH, 24 dark art on Paladin, 24 fall on my DK, or we can do the 23 throne, or the 22, whatever character you prefer.
Whatever. I'm very easy. It's whatever you feel would be. Like, I want to make sure we time it, but
Yeah, let me go on my Paladin.
Okay.
And what character are you wanting to play? You just want time stuff?
I just want to time it. Let me see if I can do a throw things in a pot world quest.
Priorities.
We could do the throne on my Paladin, or we could try 24 Dark Heart. But I I've already done a 24 Dark Heart, and it's also like a key that is realistically pretty uncertain on whether we time it.
Yeah. 1 second.
Oh yeah, Andrew, you know how you're messing around with 1 prot 4 red keys?
Yeah.
Um, we timed a crazy high key,
No
and
way.
I think it was the 24 Dark Heart, but I'm checking my Raider IO.
That's amazing.
See.
Yeah.
Not that one. Had to have been the 24.
Switch.
Yeah, 24 Dark Heart Thicket, me and 4 red.
Goddamn, that's so good.
So yeah, if you ever want to mess around with that sort of thing too, Drew, Cody and I have been, so Jetproof Pally and I have been just joking
Okay.
around with that. And so it's been a lot of fun. You just have to word glory yourself a lot more.
Yep. I'm very used to doing that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you ever want to like slot in a boomkin or something to that, I think that I think we could have fun.
Just all off feelers.
Yeah, or fuck
Alright.
it, play the rogue. Who cares?
Yeah. So basically, I have a 21 for Dark Heart and an 18 for Everbloom, and everything else I have a 24. So that's
On this
where
character.
we're at. On this character, yeah.
Okay. I mean, we can try to get into like a. Let's just do the 23 throne. I was gonna say we could apply for like an Everbloom if you wanted, but I think that the throne would just be better use of our time, so we're not spending too long in the queue.
All right. Wait, who has the throne?
But you said you had a 23 throne, or is that?
I have a 21 throne. I have a 21 throne.
21 throne. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me change that then. Let's just do a Everbloom then. Try to find like a 23 or something. See what there even is available. Okay, there's a 23 Everbloom. Might not take us. Because this guy's trying to push his key to 25.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, they took us. Okay.
Okay.
It's somewhat surprising to me.
I don't think I really have anything I can upgrade. Like, I really need another belt. That's the biggest upgrade. I've got a freaking champion belt right now.
I need better trinkets. I've just been a struggle on my alt tanks.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good dungeon for prot.
Alright,
Hard
I'll
for
catch you
other
all
tanks.
later. Good luck with the keys.
Catch you later.
Later.